welcome to the first episode of The Boardroom, where
Let's
we'll be digging into
go.
the ins and outs of entrepreneurship. I don't know if I said that right. I have a little bit of an accent, but entrepreneurship.
It's a little bit of a tongue twister.
So today we have with us Nick Speciale, who's actually related to our fellow co-host here, Mike.
Come on now.
And Nick is a wonder boy. He's done a few things that are really going to put you on the edge of your seat that I think are a lot of our childhood dreams, to be quite frank with you. He's
Yeah,
achieved some
sure.
incredible things besides his physique. And and Nick is going to let us into his domain and share with us exactly what it took and what he does and how he did it and why he does it. So Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do and what makes you you.
It's funny you say how I first built the body, because that's how it all started off. I don't know, Michael, remember back in the day, I was some scrawny guy, and you probably remember too. Before I even started my business, all I was doing was just trying to focus on building the better me, whether that's physically, mentally, and I was able to gain 40 pounds within a year. And then from that day on, I was like, you know what?
Bulking season.
If I was able to build my physique up, what's stopping me from starting to build a business just like that? So then, obviously, I was like looking at different types of businesses, because I had this one time when I was at a chiro, and he's like, listen, because I've studied kinesiology. He's like, what do you want to do with your kin degree? And I'm like, I don't know, probably athletic therapy, because that's what I was studying at the time. He's like, I'm going to tell you one thing is that, like, whether you're a practitioner or whatever it is, you can help people, but if you want to make money, you have to own your own business. And from that day on, I was just like, I'll do whatever it takes, because I will not settle for a 60, 70K salary, even if that means 2 years, which it has been, of just everyday grinding. So yeah, then I just started training some of my friends. They saw tremendous results. People spread the word. And still to this day, with no advertising, I was able to grow this business to where it is.
And you know, it's I love the fact that you mentioned that, because it's actually crazy how one is expected to have the energy to get up every day, put in 150%. And I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of even people working for other businesses who have positions to where they're performance based. It's hard to get up in the morning with the energy that you need to succeed, knowing that, hey, today I might not get paid. Because one thing that gets people up in the moment in the mornings is that paycheck.
Yeah.
But you are getting up in the morning with a vision in your mind that puts that fire under your ass, excuse my language, that gets you up out of bed at the time you need to be out of bed, and to get out there and do what you got to do. And in a way, like you're explaining now, for what you consider a minimal amount of pay.
Yeah.
Because this is a dream that only you see. And if you don't bring it to life, no one's ever going to see it.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest part too, because it's like swimming across the ocean, right?
Yeah.
You might have 1,000 miles to go, and you might swim 500 of those 1,000 miles, even 999 of those miles. You're going to die, go back up to be like, but I swam 999, but you
Doesn't
still
matter.
drowned. You
Yeah.
didn't do the 1,000.
No.
And that's the difference, right? Because, and it's not like when you're swimming across the ocean, you know exactly how far you got to swim. You take a leap of faith. It's like that meme we see where we got that guy mining at that cave,
Yeah,
and he
it was
clearly
just a little
mined
bit
more
more.
than the other guy, but the other guy just kept going.
Yeah.
And whatever it was, whether some people are one-hit wonders, and I speak for myself that, you know what, thank God I wasn't a one-hit wonder.
You don't want to be.
I would have dropped the
Yeah.
fucking ball 100%. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we can all relate, because there's character development that comes into becoming the person that you're becoming now. And like you said it, you weren't exactly in a position to where you're like, oh, I'm gonna, like people would have pointed at you and said like, he's going to be the one that's going to make it in fitness.
No.
You were in a way, the underdog. You know, no one bet on you more than you did. And you invested in yourself. You were your own investor.
Yeah.
And look at where you are today. You know, you said you were a scrawny guy, and now the guy's more chiseled than the Michelangelo statue. So
Yeah.
good for you
I
on
like-
keeping that going.
yeah.
It's motivating.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
I like how you brought up like investing back into the business and like not having much pay. For like 2 years now, I haven't even paid myself a salary, because every single penny that I've made has gone back into the business. Whether that's with the scanner, whether that's with extra devices, whether that's with the Carl bike, which is like a artificial intelligence bike. Like the main goal is to just give the clients a better experience. And now that I finally moved into my studio, like I could have spent that $2,500 a month on a car rent. But
100%.
what
A nice one too.
Exactly. But what's the point? Like, I'm trying to obviously grow the brand. And then once I grow the brand, then I'll be able to enjoy all of the good things that everybody wants. People put in so much money into the business at the very start, and then once they make some money, then they're like, let me go spend it on myself. Whereas like that's the worst thing. You got to make that money and put it back in to make it even better. Because
I don't want to hurt any feelings right now, but definitely a lot of people do that.
And that's why no one's as successful, and it's sad to say, but that's the truth. Like at the first couple of years, you should be investing into better assets so that the business grows.
Exactly.
And
so I want to just, before we get into the business and how you grew it, why don't you tell the people what exactly EMS is and like how did you come about it?
Yeah, so as you know, I study kinesiology, and for about 2 years, all we were learning is about how to rehab a muscle or rehab an injured joint, whatever the case may be. And one of the rehab tools was actually using a pad that stands for electrical muscle stimulation, and that pretty much would stimulate the muscle, and over time it would develop, and then you're able to go back into regular exercise.
I think I remember something similar about that. I used to have sprained my ankle a lot, and they'd put these little electric magnetic pads that almost like massaged it, right?
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
something close to that?
Exactly like that. And in summary, instead of studying how to rehab a muscle, I was studying what is out there that I can use as like the next fitness gadget. Because the funny part is as you know, I used to just weight train, and I used to train my clients with weight training, and there were so many people that were doubting me, saying, you're just doing it because of COVID, you're only successful because no gyms are open. Once gyms are open, you're going to get crushed.
Yeah, watch me.
Yeah, so what I did, I was like, what can be different about me? What would make it so that when people do have the ability to go to the gym, they'll still stay with me? And that's when I did some research. I found about literally the future of fitness. I typed that into Google. I read like maybe 100 articles. Then I saw this EMS equipment. I'm like, I swear I learned about this in school. And then I connected the puzzle pieces. I ordered my first device. And even for myself, like it helped me with my physique, because when I was just training, I had 6 hours a day to eat, meal prep, work out for an hour and a half. Whereas now it's like, if I'm lucky to get these 20 minutes in, that's the best part about it, is it's a 20-minute workout once or twice a week, and you still get the same benefits as if you were to do like 4 or 5 days.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's tiptoe back to that one. Because
Yeah.
I'm a guy who's currently working on his dad bod, okay?
Mhm.
So I'm trying to return the wine keg and bring it into a six-pack, okay? So since we have the Jeff Bezos of six-packs over here, let's go back to that. So you're saying, so hold on, before I put my foot in my mouth, how long will it take, for example, of EMS training for me to get the same benefits as if I worked out for an hour?
A 20-minute workout. And the reason why is because when you go to the gym, what do? You do a couple sets of chest, couple sets of legs.
Post an Insta
if
story.
you do legs, post an Insta story.
Because then you
change your
didn't work out if you
music,
didn't.
stare at girls. Before you know it, an hour and a half's passed.
100%.
And you've only done like maybe 3 exercises. And of course, skipping legs. Whereas with this,
Bro, are you watching me?
I'm watching all the guys out there.
Damn.
Yeah, so pretty much what happens with this suit is, whether you like legs or not, you're working them. Why? Because the whole suit is covering your whole body, whether it's your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes.
I saw you. It's like almost like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it's a full body
cool.
suit. So there's literally like people feeling their eardrums because of how strong all muscle groups are working.
And
so
I think people underestimate how powerful it is too. Like you will never understand the effects of EMS until you do a workout. And I think what Nicholas does, he does like these trials where he does like 5 minutes, and it's so funny like watching him grow and watching like people that like literally lift weights for like 5 times a week literally struggle to just do a bicep curl with the suit.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that like everyone needs to try it in order to like
I love the fact
understand
that you brought
it.
that up, because I actually saw, and I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous to try it because I don't want anyone seeing me struggle to pick up a broomstick.
that's literally what you curl, a
But
broomstick.
I watch people who are these. They could change their tires with one arm and hold the car up with the other. And they're like struggling to curl this broomstick. And that broomstick weighs tops 5 pounds.
You can't beat science, bro.
But it looks like they're curling a Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
That's the
They
thing.
can
It's
move it.
insane.
And the best part is
That
that
concept
each
is crazy.
person works out at their own fitness level. So whether it's me working out with like a 6-year-old mom, we're both getting an effective workout, because my intensities can be at like 50% and we can keep hers down to 10 to 20. So even if you're in a group class, it doesn't change anything.
And her workout period still stays the same. It's
Still
for
stays the
20
same,
minutes.
yeah. But you'll notice that like I'm struggling with my 50%
Yeah.
and she's struggling with her 10 to 15%, but like we're both getting just as effective workout.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
actually super, super impressive. Cheers to that. Cheers
Yeah.
to the Jeff Bezos of six-pack.
Unfortunately, I did not create the suits, which is unfortunate, but the
It's
concept of the workout, the concept of the business, And then I hear people are like, oh, why can't I just copy it on my own? I'm like, so then go do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The
Picasso.
problem is that no one will.
Yeah,
and
you
the
know how
reason
many
why
people tried
is,
copying the Mona Lisa? Why don't you try again?
Exactly. And
So they
then
can
first
go do
off,
it.
you gotta like buy the equipment. It's not cheap. It's like 10 grand just for those one devices. Now I'm at 5. So
10 grand, like
yeah, $10,000.
10.
So how exactly, tell the people, how exactly did you grow the business now that we know a little bit more about EMS?
Dude, I wrote it here. No marketing. And
No
to
marketing.
me, that's a big, like, what the fuck?
Okay, I'm sorry. No paid marketing.
See, but that's crazy. And you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out because that's definitely a fair point.
Yeah.
There's paid marketing, and then there's word of mouth.
And then there's organic.
You just post on your page, and for sure. When I hear the word marketing, dollar signs just appear in my head because we all know marketing is expensive. Well, actually, you might not know because you didn't need to market, but now I'm sure you are.
I did look into it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was.
Must be nice not to need it. Damn.
But the thing is you want to know why I don't need it? And this is where it comes down to building the best product. So I could have either put that 15 grand towards marketing or I could have put that 15 grand toward that Fit 3D scan. So I'm like, if I buy this Fit 3D scan, instead of paying for marketing, I just pay for a better product.
You're not
and
pretending.
Then my clients will be the marketing.
Yes. You're not
Because they
pretending
have
to
a
be a
good-
better product. You literally
And
are.
like, if you look at the longevity of it, marketing will only pay for that one client. Whereas when you get a referral, I think of it as like the 12 disciples. How do we know Jesus today? Because of his 12 disciples. So if you just have 12 people that love your
Amen.
product.
You heard that?
If 12 people really love your product, which I've seen firsthand, they will tell their friends. And that's all you need is that one to 12
crazy.
people.
Referrals are so underrated.
But you
It
only get
definitely is.
referrals if you get a good product.
And
If
you're
someone-
part of that product.
Well, that's the
Because,
thing, is you gotta be a
dude,
word.
and like the person who said, "Oh, what stops me from buying the suit besides the 10 G's that you need per suit?" It's the person as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're a part of the experience.
Yeah.
You're the reason why moms love to struggle with the suit on. It's a weird words to put into the same sentence, but they love the struggle because it's a struggle to their level. Plus, you're there to make sure they're being taken care of properly in every sense. Because now you're explaining a 3D scan.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they have those.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they have 3D
Well, that's
scans.
the best thing is that like technology is taking over the world. Whether you think about it from like the social media aspect, but for me, it's like technology is taking over the fitness industry. But like nobody really looked into that unless you're a geek like me. But like I used to spend an hour measuring people. Like even your brother, I used to spend measuring. Then I would do like his body fat percentage, and before you know it, half an hour
With
would
the
go
little
by.
clip thing.
Yeah,
that
the
measures
clip.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I used to
don't
do all
me.
of that.
Don't do me. The best
But
discovery
now
ever.
within like 30 seconds, I literally put them in a room, do a full scan, and it's done.
yeah, it's pretty
And
cool.
then it gives
that's
them a full
crazy.
analysis and it's accurate.
I
So when I would
remember-
do measurements, I'd be like, oh, it's a little bit off. Whereas now it's like right to the point.
And
Wow.
I remember when Nick first got it because this guy changed our basement like probably like 5 times.
5.
Every
That's an
single-
understatement.
every
5
single,
times a month.
I've heard crazy things about that basement.
Every
Yeah, I heard it looks
single-
like Lifetime Fitness in there.
Every single day this guy would probably move something. I remember we had like this really big argument. He had already like I would say 3/4 of our basement, and then he wanted half of it, and we were all like, no, but I got a girlfriend. We didn't have any parties,
doing good.
so we kind of just let it happen. And Nick is a very impulsive guy. Sometimes like he's done things twice, whether that's like redo the basement. I think him being impulsive was the reason why he's so successful.
It's because you just
of
gotta
his
take
impulsive.
action. Like you'll
And I
never
love you
know
mentioned
until
that.
you try.
Yeah,
And I've
that's
tried
so true.
100 things, and maybe 10 of them were good, but that's only 10 that I really need.
Yeah, you just figured out, for example, you just said you tried 110 worked. You just figured out 90 things that don't work.
And that's fine.
So they're not losses,
Yeah.
they're all lessons. And I love the fact that you brought that up because sometimes being impulsive is looked at like a negative thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an impulsive decision. Yeah? So what? Like, it's
I
how
signed the lease in my building after 2 weeks of just thinking about it. That's impulsive.
Let's
but
get into
That's
that.
not too.
I want to
too-
get into that.
Hold on.
Yeah, like
Before-
people
Do you
take-
guys consider thinking about it for 2 weeks impulsive? I
Yeah.
bought a dog because I saw it on Kijiji, okay? That's impulsive.
We'll
The
talk about that.
the same
We'll talk
fucking
about
day, I
the
bought a
same
dog.
shit too. Don't worry.
This guy brought a dog home and surprised a whole family.
They don't even know.
So, okay, impulsiveness makes the world go round. I'm glad we established that.
Yeah.
So, like Mike was saying, like, take us through your journey. Like, I'm sure a lot of the listeners are going to relate when they hear that, you started off in your parents' basement.
Yeah.
And a lot of us do. Like, I just recently got out of my parents' basement as well with the last few years. The business has just, pushed to a different level. Just like it keeps growing for you. And I can't see it stopping, to be honest with you, because you're telling me this business is growing with no paid marketing, and your word of mouth is your biggest marketing. Yeah, your referral market. And on top of that, from my understanding, your target demographic are busy people, like moms, like dads, like entrepreneurs who, I don't know about you, but if I'm wasting 5 minutes, like if I don't, in a way, like if there's 5 minutes and I'm sitting there for 5 minutes, I'm antsy. Yeah. I need to figure out what to do with this 5 minutes, whether it's watching 5 minutes of an hour video that I need to get through, or it's 5 minutes of a podcast. I need to do something with those 5 minutes, because if I waste those 5 minutes, I don't know, I feel like punching myself in the face. It's almost like you're disappointed in yourself,
when
feeling
I
so.
When I shower, when I'm
Dude, you're
the
like,
road,
you even want to wake up earlier so the day starts earlier. Take us through your journey, how you got out of your mom's basement and how it all just started unrolling. Take us through like a timeline.
So 2019, I actually was almost about to pass away. So like this is what really flipped the switch. So what happened is
this is your brother and you don't share this shit with me?
Private, I guess.
Yeah, so pretty much what happened is I had a tonsillectomy surgery. So they removed my tonsils. Procedure didn't go as planned because as you grow, your tonsils get really big. And 2 weeks after I had the surgery, a stitch in my throat ripped. I gushed 5 liters of blood, rushed to the emergency.
Aren't there like 6-7 liters in the body only?
Yeah, so I got like almost more than half gone. After that, it was really bad. Then I was in the ER. I had another surgery. They stitched it up. And from that day on, I was like, I got to do whatever it takes to build my best physique possible. So instead of being in the hospital watching YouTube or whatever, I was reading books on like how to bulk up properly, because that was my biggest struggle. Is I would go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, and you remember, like we used to go together, but we would never see progress. Then I was like, there's something that's missing. And it was all about nutrition and obviously staying accountable and learning the proper way to work out. Not just going to the gym, going on your phone, doing a couple reps.
For sure. We know those.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So then I learned how to do that. So then I started training a couple of my close friends. They started selling some other people. And then when I had enough money and I found out about EMS, I put all that money in towards my first device.
Shout out to those close friends that actually supported their friend's business. That's fucking rare.
Yeah, and I was talking with my girlfriend about it. And if you literally look at the very first person I trained, it's just like a pyramid down. It's like I would have never got to this person that I'm training like 3 years later if it wasn't all the way from that first person I trained. And I used to train for like $10 to $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Now I have
when gas was fucking affordable. Now gas is you got to cut off your toe if you want to fill a tank.
Yeah. And then over time you just build skills, like you build your character traits. I learned from experience like what works, what doesn't work. Like I went through 10 different nutrition programs, and that's what I mean. Like when people say, oh, I can just start this, why don't I do it myself? Okay, go, because you're gonna have like 10 different obstacles, and that's just like from the training perspective. And then you got to learn how to sell, you got to learn how to market, you got to learn how to fulfill, right? And like actually get the clients to stay, because no one's locked in. People can leave after the first month if they don't like what they see.
Exactly.
So anyway, I just started to build the brand, started to get referrals, and then like Michael was saying, I just had a quarter of the basement. And then I was like, I want to do 2 to 3 on ones, because I was just doing 1-on-ones, but I needed some more space to do more bigger classes, because I was like, I'm not trading my time for money, and if I am, I want to make it worth it.
It's only 24 hours in a day.
Exactly. So then after I expanded the gym in the basement, after like having a whole bunch of fights from them, and renting it out to people during COVID.
There's pitchforks outside and signs.
We can say it now. This guy used to have random people walk through our freaking front door, through our living room, put their freaking shoes on, and walk out our front door like it was I called it a community center. It was in the midst of COVID. There were people walking with masks through our house to the basement just to work out.
I can picture Michael too, bro.
And we didn't have this walk-out basement. I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my pajamas making eggs, and there's some people walking through my. I have to be obligated, like I'm a secretary in my own kitchen. You want some? No, it was on. Like we got the walk-out basement, but that was like a year into his business. And I was like, I don't know how I did that. Like, okay, maybe it wasn't a pandemic, but
then I ended up extending the basement to like half of it. So I was able to do 3-on-1s.
Hey.
And obviously it was more of an investment to buy 2 more devices. But at the end of the day, it pays off because now instead of working 10 hours a day, I was literally working 4. Getting paid the same, obviously, the investment, but that will pay off.
And even if you wanted to work 10, you're still making triple.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because of 3
exactly.
devices.
So then after I started to do that, I went through a few different nutrition programs, nutrition plans. And then as soon as I found out what really worked, I was like, let's go all in. So then I started to really like post a lot more on Instagram, started to get a lot more referrals because of it. And then again, I got to that situation where I was working like 10 hours a day, only with 3 people. So I was like, I'm not trying to do that.
Those are good problems, though.
Yeah. Instead of having 3 people all day, let's get to 5. But the problem is my basement's only so big. So then that's when I recently moved into my new space.
fucking Luxie down there by the time you're done.
Yeah, for real.
With the music
blasting.
Don't even start with that.
That's another story.
Okay, this guy trains. Like,
oh fuck.
This guy trains like people, like moms and people like before work. So every Monday and Friday, I would have. My bedroom was right above the vent to where the workout station was, and I would hear my dad and I, because our bedrooms aligned with the basement where he trains. My dad and I would have to invest into like earplugs because every morning at 7 a.m. we would have the bass and these loud people, like they pretended it wasn't a basement of the house, just screaming and laughing. And Nicholas wouldn't do anything about it. He would just be like, yeah. And we would tell him every day, Nicholas, literally, oh my God, the trainers itself, like they were like, I remember he had this guy named Arash, the funniest guy ever. And he liked pumping people up, right? But it's 7 a.m. and all we hear is 1, 2, go, come on. And I'm like, oh I'm gonna fucking die. I had to put earplugs in. You know what was nice? He switched the music from the speaker to the TV, so the bass wasn't that bad. But oh my God, ever since he moved out, it felt like something was missing. I was like, I want to be woken up by like really loud moms in the morning. Like it was something missing. But I guess what was really cool about this is, I think both of you guys have the experience about moving out and like starting your own thing, and like you built this office for yourself and you're just getting out in a stepping stone. So I wanted to ask you, Nick, like, how does it feel like actually paying for rent? Having expenses.
Yeah. How does it feel, Nick?
Now I have to take it easy on how much expenses I put towards a business, because at the end of the day, that is an extra one. But
you know, it isn't as fun anymore, is it?
Yeah, that too. the trips we used to go on and like the stuff we used to do, obviously we got to take that into consideration. But now the business is obviously more established to the point where I can afford to pay that rent and still have a little bit left over for me. But it's a business, right? And I was just really happy that I was able to have 2 to 3 years to really test out the model, because it's not like a regular studio that's out there where everybody understands it. Like even you're just still blown away and you didn't even try it. So like just to get enough people to understand and try the workouts took a long time. But now I feel like I have my base of clients. People actually trust it. People actually see the benefit of it. So now I'm like able to afford and take the risk to pay for rent, because I know at the end of the day, like it's just going to grow from here, because I've seen the
You're investing in yourself.
Yeah, I've seen the progress of.
Yeah, and businesses are like babies, right? At first, and I just had a baby. Like,
oh wow!
Not
congrats.
me personally.
So cute. I want to meet her.
Yeah.
I'm not postpartum. Shout out to the baby, and the baby mama.
Come on the podcast. What's her name?
No, dude, she's my chamber of secrets. All right, she's not allowed on here. She knows too much. So businesses are like babies, right? At first, they can't do anything for themselves.
No.
They can't walk. They can't talk. They can't feed themselves. They can't. So pretty much, they can't tell people who they are. They can't generate their own revenue, and they can't bring, by walking, they can't bring the business to life, because it's just a baby. So you have to do everything, and I'm sure you put tons of different hats on, from trainer to business manager to marketing manager to janitor to fucking secretary to
contractor
to almost like a calf lady. You need drinks, you need this, you need that, taking care of them, barista, coach, chef, by telling them what to eat, or you're preparing meals, or
professional instigator.
Professional instigator. So it takes a lot for business to begin, but once you get it on your feet, it's like you're saying now the business is almost like in an auto cycle, to where I wouldn't call it completely auto, but it's in phase 1 of an auto cycle, to where word of mouth, it's doing its thing. You have a steady clientele that comes in, And it is slowly now growing and growing more and more because more and more people are attracted to your product because you created a fantastic product. You were able to eliminate a problem for people, time. They say you can't buy time. Time is the only asset that's scarce that we can't remake. Well, that's not totally true, but time is a scarce asset that we're granted. I think it's that video, and I'm not sure if this time is right, but you have like 56,400 seconds in a day.
This guy always quotes that stuff.
There you go. You have and say that was $1. Each second was worth $1. How would you spend that every dollar knowing that you're not getting that money back? It just resets next day, resets again. And you're a prime example of what it is to use all that time properly because you're like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. My baby can't walk right now. So you set it up in the basement. And shout out to your parents for taking that chance with you because not a lot of parents would do that. A lot of parents would tell their kids to get the fuck out or get their own place. So shout out to your parents on doing that. So they helped you nurture this baby. So now that your baby's up on its toes and it's able to walk and talk and it's able to do its thing, now is when you're starting to finally be able to naturally put that smile on your face because you're starting to feel the good stuff. You're starting to see the what's coming out of your hard work. You're starting to reap the rewards. So tell us a bit about that. So for example, what was, this moment where you realize, okay, I have a life-changing product. Someone's life or someone's review or something someone simply said to you, because there's some things people say that they don't know how small they are, but they change our motivation and they tell it to us when we needed it the most. So where was that moment that you realized, okay, I have a life-changing product and this is bigger than me?
Yeah. Well, it started off with the one client of mine that went through 60 pounds of weight loss in like 4 months.
60 pounds?
With EMS.
60.
Like, this is when I had one device, 5 clients, and...
Holy cannoli.
Yeah. It's funny because he was like the only one of my clients that wanted to do EMS. The rest of them were just doing weights because they didn't believe in the EMS. After that day, I was like having so many of my clients switch to EMS because they started to see the benefits of this guy that's seeing tremendous results.
In 20 minutes, you're catching these long workouts.
Exactly. So then that's when I was like, why would I invest into people doing the weighted workouts when I should just go all out in the EMS route? So that's when I sold all of my weights. And I'm like, okay,
give him a choice. Fuck it.
Yeah. I was like, if you want to do weights, you can go to the gym. If you're going to do EMS and you want to save your time and you know that time is money, you'll stick with me. That's when it started to grow.
Damn. And that probably fucking tickled their stomachs too. You want to waste your time? Go ahead. You don't come with me. That's crazy.
I even posted a story one day, I don't know if you saw, where it was like a whole bunch of heavy weights stacked up. And it's like, who wants to spend 90 minutes in a gym and deteriorate their joints over time? These are for sale.
God. To the busy moms and the busy entrepreneurs who aren't bodybuilding, they just want to have a healthy physique, have that chiseled six-pack or that good-looking bod. It's an extraordinary avenue. Exactly.
And everyone's so impatient nowadays too. So
they want a shortcut, and I'm gonna tell them straight up. As soon as they sign up, I'm like, listen, I got no pills, I got no magic wand, but what I do have is the 3 pillars of how to get results: accountability, fitness, and nutrition. And if you work with me, that's what we're going to be working on. And I have no secrets, but it's those 3 is a success to your journey. And a lot of people, they focus on their fitness, they focus on their nutrition, but they forget the 3rd one, which is the accountability.
So what does a day in the life of a client of yours look like?
So they would come in, let's just say their appointment's at 9 o'clock. They'd come 5 minutes earlier. They would do a body scan. I grant all my clients access to this just so that they can see their progress once a week. After that, which takes 30 seconds, they would get suited up. To get suited up takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Once they're ready, they go onto their mat.
And are these suits one fits all?
No, so each device is 10 grand, but each of those suits is $1,000. So I have a whole bunch of different suit sizes so that people that come in, like I have people that are in larges, people that are in extra smalls. It fits the whole variety of people.
Nice.
So I would suit them up. After they get suited up, they would do a full body workout. Monday and Tuesdays would be more of an endurance type of training. Thursday and Fridays are more strength-based. So people that come twice a week get the benefits of both. If somebody wants to really focus on muscle building, they would come to a Thursday, Friday. Somebody that wants to focus more on their cardio and body fat reduction, they would come Monday, Tuesday. Based off of after the workout, get unchanged. We also have a artificial intelligence bike that we recently bought. They have access to that as well. So after the workout, if they want to get an extra fat burning session, they hop on the bike, 5 minutes of that, and then they're out the door. Yeah, and then we also on the back end. So that's just like what they experience when they come into the studio. On the back end, we have softwares in place for them to track their food, for them to keep themselves accountable, for us to give them resources on their fitness journey. And this is all specialized to the specific person for that specific goal.
You customize it so it caters directly to their needs.
And that's the biggest problem, is that everybody has like a one size fits all cookie cut program. Whereas let's just say like you are struggling with your sleep. So why would I talk about movement with you if you're not even getting the 8 hours of sleep? Whereas with you, Michael, let's just say you're struggling with your protein intake. Why would I talk about how much reps you should do of chest press if you're not even eating enough protein? That's the main concern, and that's what we're going to work on. Yeah. And that's what like reaps the benefits, and that's what clients get the best results.
And they get this one-on-one with you.
How do you multitask all these clients? How many clients do you have now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another thing, is that over time I was just learning and investing into different programs, into different softwares, and that's why like that scanner is a game changer. Like I spent 15 grand on it, but every penny saved my time, because
15 grand. Every time I hear that, I feel my eye.
It is expensive, but if you think about it, if I spend 1 hour per client to do their assessment, or even half an hour, that would literally be like almost 5 hours a year. If I do that with every client, you're looking at almost 50 hours. If I can buy back 50 hours of my time and get clients a better service by like literally seeing their self in a 3D figure,
it's cool too, you know. Yeah, and I think I love that because not only do you, because when you look in the mirror, I remember you have this saying that you always tell people. He has like a pound of fat and a pound of muscle. Yeah. And I think that's such a good, I wish you brought it. I should have told you to bring it. And it's such a good reference, because when people like step on the scale, they only use that one number to track their progress. And that's not true. And that's not the best way, because it's so unmotivating when you see that. But when you get on a scanner for what Nick has, and you see your body, like the 0.5 on the left bicep, and the 4% on the body fat, like all these numbers, when you see progress, it makes you feel like you're doing something, and you're investing into yourself. And I think the 3D Fit Scan is one of like the best things you invested in, because sometimes I just want to hop on it just to see it, because the scale only says so much. Yeah. Right.
And that's a problem, is that when I used to do training, people would get upset their first month because they would see that their weight is either staying the same or it's increasing. But then what I did is, now that I have this scanner, I literally can show them how much of their body is fat mass and how much of their body is muscle mass. The
scanner doesn't give a fuck.
I don't take excuses. Like if you're going to say, oh, I forgot to take a picture, oh, I forgot to add this in, oh, I forgot to do a scan, I'm like, well, then remember next time. We're like, let's get back into it.
You're an adult.
Some people really need that. Like they won't tell themselves.
And you know what? You're right, and that's the crazy thing that you're offering. I don't mean to kind of like just jump in there, but just to jump on that fact, they need someone like you to be there to tell them
accountability.
A coach should not be a friend, and I tell my clients that, like, I love you.
That's deep.
A coach should not be your friend.
Coach is not your friend.
I tell my clients whatever they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Yeah. Ooh. That's another one. Hear what you need, not what you want. Damn, I'm starting to break sweats over here. Fuck.
You're not even wearing the suit.
Yeah, dude, it's hiding the sweat stains right now. And that's the most incredible part, because I do believe that one of the most important things in business is tracking your progress. And one of the hardest things to do in business is tracking your progress. Yeah. Because you're the judge, the juror, and the executioner. You choose what's allowed. You choose what's not. So if you're not good up here and you don't have your foundation set properly, you're in trouble, because you're not tracking that progress. And you kind of took that away from them and said, you know what, I'll take care of this for you. Yeah. But I need you to be responsible. Yeah. And the fact that you're making it necessary for them to be responsible to be a part of your program shows that it's something that's on another level. Yeah. It's not that personal trainer that says, oh, you're tired, it's okay, go home. Yeah, no. It's just like, oh, you forgot, it's okay.
No, yeah, trainers, that's one thing you pay.
That 3D scanner, dude, if you're turning from a rectangle to a fucking oval or a circle, trust me, the scanner knows, and you'll be able to see it in 3D. So there's no lying to it. And I bet you if I got on that scanner, buddy,
we would have a surprise.
My body fat would probably be like an NBA final score. I have a hard time understanding that something like a broomstick could weigh up to 80 pounds through electrical magnetic currents. If I'm saying something wrong, you can correct me once I'm done. Okay. And it is healthy for you. So, because I know it's healthy, because I broke my ankle 3 times, screwed up my knees, broke my left ankle twice. I've had those pads. I even ended up buying the pad. I think it's like Dr. Chowers. Dr. Hole, that guy that's on the TV 24/7. I bought those things. And dude, it was like Luxie on my ankles. Yeah. It was like zzz. So I've gone through that. However, my brain would have never thought that it could be used as a workout.
Yeah.
So take me through the anatomy part about how it affects the body in a positive manner.
So first off, it's FDA approved. So all of these
Boom,
there,
FDA approved.
Yeah.
Don't get
But
out of here with
now
those
I'm gonna
fucking other shit.
explain how it works. So when you lift heavy weights, what happens is your brain sends an electrical signal. That's how your body connects through electrical impulses. It sends a signal to your muscles saying, this is heavy, flex your muscles, right?
Shit.
If it's a table,
Damn.
you got to send a lot of nerve signals to your muscles saying, this is heavy, use more muscle fibers, flex to hold this table. Whereas with this suit, instead of making your brain tell your muscles, flex your muscles, it's the device. And the device sends the electrical impulses just like your brain would. So it's pretty much like an artificial brain. And that's
so
what makes it so difficult.
That's crazy.
And
I love
whether
it.
it's a broomstick, whether it's your printer, like it doesn't matter what
You
the
can
object
make
is.
anything way.
You can hold your hands together. I just make people hold the fat grip so that they don't put holes into their hands.
Oh yeah.
For how like strong you're squeezing because it's difficult.
When you get like enough intensity, your fingers start to like cripple, and you're like, I can't like stretch out my fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sore,
Because you really
almost
got to
like,
flex.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's not the broomstick doesn't get heavier. But what happens is it goes right to your muscles, and that's what's also really good because it prevents injured joints. So like in the past, when I used to do a lot of squatting, I used to get so much knee pain to the point where like I literally couldn't even play soccer. So like what's the point of exercising if you can't even do regular functions during the day? And then what I decided and what I realized with this is there's no pressure on your joints. So even if you're doing a heavy squat,
it's all going to the muscle.
yeah, it's going straight to the muscles and nothing to the joints.
So mind blowing. Like I'm trying to picture this as I'm seeing it. I'm just like, fuck.
Because there's so many
This is
people
the
out there
future,
that
man.
like lift heavy weights because they want to lift, feel good about their ego. But before you know it, you can't even walk when you're like 30, 40 years old because you have so much overload of joints.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like for example, some people sit in a chair all day,
Yeah.
which is the negative part for me. Like I'm in a chair, or I'm in a car, or whatever the case may be. So I'm on my ass, but I'm not doing anything. But I'm sitting, so that's the benefit for me, right? You go, you do these workouts, and I'm also very, very, very short on time. Like, and my girl can be my witness. I'm on a fucking schedule. Like, I'm up. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this before I get here and do this. So I'm very straight. So the fact that you're able to trim down someone's, in reality, you allocate like an hour and a half, 2 hours to an hour workout. The fact that you were able to trim that down to 20 minutes is just
And this is
incredible.
what I tell everybody is like, yes, you're paying more for a shorter amount of time, but somebody like you, your time is worth a lot more than, let's just say you're paying $30 for an hour and a half session. If you can pay $60 but only get it in 20 minutes, why wouldn't you? So yeah, it's more
100%.
expensive, but
100%.
you pay to save yourself time.
And then there's the people who use physical labor to earn their income, right?
Yeah.
And they're getting paid very well. However, their bodies are taking heavy hits.
Yeah.
So you kind of offered a solution for more than just a busy person. Now you're like, hey, listen, I get it. I'm a little bit more expensive. However, I have a product that will benefit your body in a way that working out wouldn't.
Kareem Benzema, he literally just
He's
won
on
the
it?
Ballon d'Or. He
Oh,
trains
boy.
with EMS.
Oh, but see, and there you go. See, that's a
Yeah.
prime
Even
fucking
like
example.
Spider-Man, you know,
You defeat like
Tom Holland trains
see,
for EMS.
I didn't even know this. So Tom Holland, Benzema, who else?
A lot of the soccer players out there, like
Wow.
German
See?
teams,
Well,
all
that
these guys,
explains a
play
lot.
even like celebrities, like really famous female celebrities, train with it. They all say good things about it. The thing is it's expensive and it's new.
Yeah,
So
not
no
a lot
one
of people
wants to invest into
Yeah.
like spending 10 grand on something that they don't know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And then you also got to understand the science behind it. You got to understand the workouts. You like somebody like yourself won't be able to just buy it because
I
you
wouldn't.
don't understand how to train a client. And
You
then
could show me the video. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But sitting down and explaining here with you, I would want sessions with
Yeah.
you because now you're explaining the product to me, and it's making a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's making sense why this is a growing
Yeah.
industry.
And the only way to really understand is to try it. And that's why I always offer like a small fee of a $25 just to literally come in. And like, even if you just want to try it, I don't care, because what happens if you just try it and let's just say you can't commit at the moment, you'll be telling your friends about it. And then one person is going to be able to make it because they're free, they really have a lot of pain, and then they'll be that person that comes in. So
I remember the first time I tried EMS too. It was like life changing, because it was like what
did it change for you?
I always think of it as like, you know, when you go to the gym and you get that like perfect weight where you're like you're just lifting it just enough where
it's a perfect amount of resistance.
Every 5 seconds, it's like perfect.
And you're able to see, what do you use, an iPad?
Yeah, so then we on the iPad is able to increase each muscle specifically. So just say you really want to focus on your arms, your abs, and your chest, but then the lady beside you really wants to focus on her glutes, her legs, and her abs. Yeah. We can make her intensity focus on those muscle groups, and your intensity is focused on that muscle group.
Can you see how much I'm struggling?
Yeah.
Like if you can see, like, dude, you're out of shape. Like, you should be doing this. Oh, fuck, yeah.
He uses, I think this is one thing that's important. To track how hard it is, he uses, like, heart rate monitors. And the heart rate monitors are...
So it's like those things from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Look, and they're like, this guy's power is out of the roof.
So
she's at like 5% left.
Like, the heart rate monitors dictate how hard they're working and if he could push it up. If their heart rate is like, what is the range? Like 80?
If their heart rate's really low, that means that I can challenge them a lot more. And like again,
so
with
you
the
know when they're lying.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, bro, I try to put everything.
Struggling. No, you're not.
Yeah, like I try to make it so that I don't hear either an excuse or a lie, because I'll always have something to back it up. And that just comes from like my science perspective of like kinesiology, is like there needs to be facts. And if you're saying that you're struggling, but your heart rate is still in the blue, which is like low to middle intensity,
then you're not.
Then like I still can push you. You might feel it like psychologically that it's hard, but like physiologically, you still have some gut like
you're looking
energy
at them
left.
with the science.
When I see a client that is in the deep red, which is like really high heart rate, that's my like cue to lower that person down.
And that's fucked. You're like, it's like I had a USB port, and it's like I had a USB port in my ass, and you just plug it in, and you're just like downloading everything about me, and then you're just like able to like, that's fucking incredible.
But that's what gets the clients the results, and like that's what makes it as effective as possible.
So how did you get into Dragons then?
Hold. You just dropped the D word.
So 2 Ds.
Double Ds. Some people's favorites.
I want to get into that.
How did you get into the Den of the Dragones? Tell us how that story began. So take me from, I want to know, like, when you woke up in the morning, took the booger out your eye, and you're like, oh, I have an email from Dragon's Den. I want to know fucking everything.
It wasn't that. It was like me jumping off the walls. But I, for the last 3 years, would watch all of Shark Tank. That was like my go-to show. And like when people say, what's your
favorite character? Who's
your
favorite judge? Mark?
Hey,
Mark's a fucking
that guy's
badass.
so
Mark
Cubano. Congratulations. He always
Shout out Mark Cuban.
He always goes, congratulations, guys. Like after every single pitch, no matter what, congratulations. Like they can like be like ridiculed.
Yo, and it's funny you guys say that. I feel like the next words will be, congratulations, guys. You have a chance of being just as rich as me. He says it so confidently. It's just, okay. Shout out Mark Cubano, by the way.
So let's hear what happened was I watched all the Shark Tanks. Then I was like, what the hell am I going to watch now? I wasn't into like any of those Euphoria videos or whatever, but like I wanted to watch something similar. So then I found out about Dragon's Den. Right when the last episode hit on season 16, it was a ad that was like, hey, like if you're watching this and you want to apply to be on the season 17, just click the link on below and fill out this application. So I was like, why not? Give it a shot. And this is when like I was first starting my business. Like I was never expecting in a million years to even just get called back. And what happened was after I applied, they sent me an email saying we want to do an interview with you and like you want to pitch to the producers. So I was like, okay, this is probably just like they tell everybody this.
First draft pick kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was like I'm pretty sure like almost 1,000 people applied. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure like almost 800 of them. As long as you made some money, you probably got to this. So like around 800 people got the audition with the producer.
Filtered out the Fugazi.
Yeah. And then so once they got that, then after they're like, you're gonna pitch to the producers. After that pitch, I was waiting for like a few months without any callback. So I was like, oh, whatever, I probably didn't get the call. And then what happened is they emailed me 2 weeks before the start date, and they're like, you didn't make the cut, but we have you on standby. So I was like,
You're on the reserves.
I was on the reserve, which was okay because I already know that like out of 1,000 people, there's only like really 100 that actually not even show, just like get to pitch to the Dragons.
And he didn't tell us any of this.
Yeah.
Like he just did it under like the radar. Yeah. Like we knew literally.
Well, in his defense, I'm sure he didn't want to hype something up that he didn't know was gonna happen because I'm sure that feeling isn't good either. No.
And then literally a day before they asked me to be on the show, they're like, "Listen, we had a cancellation. We chose you to be on the show." So I was like, "What the hell is going on?
Who the fuck would cancel you, idiot?" Well, thank you.
Probably because they were shitting their pants like I would have been.
Yeah, for sure. You couldn't go up against Speciale Fitness. Are you dumb?
So then what happened was I had 24 hours to put together a pitch, to put together all my numbers, and to just mentally prepare myself that I'm going to be talking to 6 billionaires. So I was like, what am I going to do? I put together everything. I called my accountant.
You know that.
Called my accountant, called my mentor, spoke to a lot of like people that I knew for advice, all within 24 hours. I went there, pitched to them. I was like,
everything happened so fast.
I was like so worried that they would either hate the product, hate me, or hate the business model. But I can't say if I got it or not. You will see.
It's coming out tomorrow at 8. Wait,
enough with this.
Wait, because this is dropping Wednesday, so it's for everyone listening. It's coming out tomorrow at what time?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
So October 27th. It's a Thursday. Yeah. 8 p.m.
So you will see me face the dragons,
Oh.
but you will see the dragons face the suit.
Oh.
So they actually tried out the suit.
On a production point of view, the people that get on Dragon's Den, they record the episodes. They could cut you really short. They could put you as a 30-second little. This is person, right? But and people think of it as like, oh, they're gonna get a whole thing. Nick got not only the whole episode, like not a whole episode, but how long?
You got a full segment.
A whole segment, and he's featured in like the trailers for the season itself. So he's pretty like highlighted in the season of Dragon's Den on its own, and that's like cool itself to just think about.
I got another 100 people that actually pitched the dragons. I think they only put 40 or 50 out. Because
some of those 40 or 50 are about to get fucking smashed on live television. Yeah. They're about to be like, fuck you suck, go home. Like, what is this? So that's scary too.
So that's why I was also worried, because what about if it went bad and then everyone on live television, because they will post that. They don't care. Oh,
I've seen
they'll
shit.
Rinse people.
What's his name? Mr. Wonderful,
yeah,
not so wonderful.
People off.
Mr. fucking tell you what you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I call him. He'll be like, yeah, sick product. Go shoot it behind the fucking bar like a dog. Like I've heard him say that shit so many times. Bro, you know how many fucking childhoods you're ruining? But he's got a point. He does. Yeah. He's got that hard, tough love. And I'm sure that's what he considers it. He's just super fucking blunt with it. So, like, the dragons, how did it, like... And I know the episode's going to come out. So, you guys... I don't believe you that you don't know. But I'm going to ask you...
He doesn't know.
I'm sure. Whatever. Yeah, the sky's purple. Anyways, so...
It is.
So, take us, like... What was the dragon's initial reaction? You know, you can summarize. You could be like, would they loved it or not? And then... How I can't wait to see this shit. How did they react to the workout? Like, how was it? Was it like...
So they tried it. 3 of them were supposed to. So it's supposed to be Robert, Wes, and Michelle. Because it was a big production and they wear like costumes and they're wearing like makeup and stuff. Only 2 of them did it. So Wes and Michelle did it.
Yeah, Robert just wears nice suits, bro. He's not in shape.
So those 2 tried it. And at first, like, they were kind of confused. They're like, what the heck is this feeling? But then once they really got like a couple minutes into the workout, they were like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Like, I've never felt anything like this. And they were struggling. And then when I spoke to Michelle a couple days later, she was telling me, she's like, Nicholas, like, I'm sore. And this was only like 3 minutes because I didn't even give them the full 20. I just literally give them 3 minutes of a workout. And she's like, I'm sore, like, Nick, like, I can't move, but I love it. I want to come for more. And then after, we obviously talked about the numbers, talked about the business. But this was back in, I think, April or May. So, like, technically, I was still starting my EMS business. Like, training, I was starting for, like, almost a couple years. But, like, specifically EMS was only, like, a year old. But then, yeah. Like,
a year's still a long time to get into a fresh industry, too, with a product that's not popular.
Yeah.
It even gets me excited to see, like, what the next level athletes are going to be like. You're telling me you can just, on this iPad, swipe up, crank up the intensity without picking up anything heavier, and it just goes? That's crazy. That's incredible.
I remember one time this guy drove. And I'm like, why would you drive in the studios? I just wanted to try it.
Like
because driving's too easy.
Don't do that.
I'm no quitter. No, definitely don't fucking put on the suit while
driving.
I did try that. How'd it go?
My fucking foot was twitching the pedal. I was like swerving in and out of lanes. Not a good idea.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck. Make a left. No, I said make a left. Shit, sorry.
What other technology do you have in the gym?
So we have the Fit3D scan, which is a good way to test somebody's progress. We have the EMS technology, which is the suits that you put on for the 20 minutes. We also have that artificial intelligence bike that I just bought. And that is supposed to, a 5-minute bike ride is equivalent to a 45-minute run
what
outside.
What makes it AI?
So instead of, you know how like all these bikes out there, they have that resistance crank? The knob. So if you want it stronger, you bring up the knob. But again, how many times are people really going to bring up that knob and challenge themselves? Yeah, you're your own coach. Whereas this, it gives you that resistance that you put into it. So you're pedaling as fast as you can, and it's pushing back resistance as to whatever force and output you're putting into it. And it's like,
so it's like you're taking this too easy right now. It's just too easy for you.
Yeah. So then after it will challenge you, and it'll also show you how many watts you're pushing, and then it's 8 seconds on with a 12-second rest. So you're pushing hard for 8 seconds, and then for 12 seconds you can relax, and then once it hits the 8-second mark again, your foot won't move until you push through it.
That's
so
incredible.
it always gives you that resistance.
That's incredible.
So that's all.
I
and
have
then
yet
also,
to try that.
Yeah, and that's like just in the studio, and then outside of it, we have our nutrition program that we like coach clients outside of it. We have
so clients have like that one-on-one with you to where they're like, do they text you and be like, hey man, listen, what should I eat today?
Yeah, well, that's where I give everybody a consultation. Once they sign up and they're committed to me, I will give them a free 30-minute call just so that we break down exactly what you need to eat for your specific goal. But then everybody knows what to eat. The problem is people don't keep themselves accountable. Mm-hmm. So once I kind of give them an overview of like what grocery list, shopping, eating out guide, after that, then the main goal is just to keep them accountable to actually make sure that they're following through with it. Because you know how to eat. The problem is no one's calling you and saying, hey, didn't see your breakfast this morning. What did you eat?
Yeah, and you know what? I love that because I've heard this a million times. You know, what you eat is like 70% of the battle. Working out is like 30. You can completely reverse everything that you've just worked towards by leaving your workout session. And for example, and this is obviously the prime example everybody uses when they think of unhealthy, so don't sue me, but you go eat McDonald's. You'll think like, fuck, I deserve it. Then you'll go eat McDonald's and you just kind of theoretically reversed all that hard work you just did. So the fact that, and they could lie, right? They're just like, I won't put it in today what I ate, so I don't have to tell him.
But that's when the scanner comes in.
And that's when the scanner kicks in, and that's when you're just like, hey, why didn't you upload what you ate? Yeah. And when they're like, oh, because I was too busy. You're never too busy to take care of yourself. Yeah. You're never too busy to put up
And then
there.
It's just not a priority. So then I always ask them when they say, I'm too busy, I was eating good this weekend. I'm like, why did you come to my studio? Yeah. What is the purpose?
You want me to change your life?
If you want to lose weight, let's work on that. Yeah. I don't want to be a coach to you for something that you don't want to achieve. So if your goal is to lose weight, but then you don't want my guidance and expertise,
you're making us both feel bad.
Yeah. And I'll literally tell a secret is like, as long as you hit the amount of protein that you need per day, the rest of your calories can be coming from whatever you want.
Yeah. So there's proper calories too, and you're there to guide them.
And like, if you want your Miss Vicky's chips, go have your Miss Vicky's chips. But the problem is that nobody eats their protein during the day.
Yeah, and you didn't earn them.
Yeah, you don't earn them.
And I feel like counting your calories too, like it's hard to do, but when you feel like, oh my God, I have 100 grams of protein, all I need is like 20 more, and I know that this chicken breast is 20 grams, I'm going to just shove it in my face at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. Because it's like their goals. And I think that's what Nick does really well is he gives his clients goals and objectives, and they're always like fighting for something. And on the hidden part of it through EMS, he's always pushing them, you know, like every it's progressive overload as a like weightlifter, but he's always progressing them. It's like, okay, well, I remember from this client, he did, you know, his heart rate is this much. Let me just try to boost him up a little bit. He's always progressing them, whether it's the bike or you're waiting to put your suit on, hop on the bike for 10 minutes, you know? Mm-hmm. You're waiting to get scanned, the bike. You're doing something, why don't you walk here? I remember when he had the basement. Okay, you're waiting, you have 10 minutes, go walk around the block for like 10 minutes, get your steps in. So it's an ongoing thing with that. And I think that's what I want to kind of conclude here is just that EMS on its own is a good business plan. Right? It tackles the entrepreneurship of like building the business, obviously going from the basement, thank God he moved out, but going from the basement to a new studio and like consistently learning. And on top of it, capitalizing on technology, right? AI is like the new thing. And I think Nick covered the technology aspect, the time aspect for busy people like you or for lazy people like me. And he tackled it all into this one atmosphere of like fitness and wellness. And I just want to like congratulate you as my brother. Just like, good job.
Honestly, man, it's incredible to see the fact that, and honestly, thank you for sharing, because I'm sure a lot of people need to hear that it doesn't start off with the shiny offices or the shiny booths or locations or studios. Life is hard. Yeah. Life sometimes might even feel unfair. So the fact that you persevered, you pursued a business avenue that I think it's safe to say that a lot of people didn't believe it. People are so busy investing in their businesses, investing in this, investing in that, marketing this, that. Your body's your temple. Yeah. Without you, everything you invested in is going to fucking zero.
And what's the point of having all this stack when at the end of the day you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not happy with yourself?
Yeah, you don't get to bring your toys with you.
Yeah, your money cannot make you feel as confident as your body will, and that's what I'll always tell people. And like, just something to leave off with is like, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow something and you want to like build an empire, take care of your clients, and the clients will take care of the business.
That's what I was just gonna ask. If you had to leave the viewers with one last message,
that's it. Because the problem is people are always focused on the business, and they forget. And that's what I used to do, and that's why I lost a lot of my clients. I'm not gonna lie, because I was too busy on the business, and I just completely forgot about the clients. Whereas like, if you take care of the clients, you better bet they'll be telling their friends, and that itself will take care of the business.
I love that.
Yeah,
so I love that. Love that. Yeah. Put your clients before your own needs. Put
and
their wants.
That will come. Like the money will come, and before you know
money
it,
can't be your motivation. Yeah. It can't be, because so what? When you're not making money, you're not motivated. I don't fucking get it. Or what? If you don't get money for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you're not motivated.
I just charge a premium because I know what I'm valued at. Like, I'm not doing it because.
And I'm sure working out with you results into money. Yeah. Because you're more active. You're getting up early.
For sure.
You're energetic. Like, I just recently got back into a routine as well. And just simply doing cardio, like, you wake up with this different energy. You have this different aura. You walk around. You're almost like attracting better.
And seeing progress within your body is probably like the best
and then
motivation.
Looking in the mirror, and then your dad bod turning into more like a father figure. You're like, damn.
And like, you don't have to wear oversized hoodies. Like, that's what all my clients love.
You're not ashamed of yourself.
Like, they'll come to me and then
feel lighter.
The best, like, and that's what keeps me driving. It's like, listen, I don't like telling you what to eat every day. I don't like to like get on your ass during the workouts and ask you like one more set, one more rep. But what I do like to hear, and this is why I do it from like the very start, is because when somebody can go out with their friends and wear a nice dress, or like some guys can take off their shirt, and that's what my biggest insecurity was. It's like
nice in a dress shirt, like it fits well.
Fits well. Like, that's the feeling that people want, and that's the feeling that like people need, because that's the overall goal. It's not just to like feel better, look better. It's like to be able to take off your shirt when you're around people and like not give a fuck about what you look like, because you know internally you're self-confident. So like
for it.
Yeah, and everybody else
deserve it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with walking around and feeling like you deserve something. If you put in the work, and like you said, and someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna go do it," but you smile and you say, "Go ahead."
If anything, it'll create more credibility.
You got what it takes.
You're an affiliate to me, because at the end of the day, like, people will know of me as the EMS guy. So if you want to just come on the bandwagon, go right ahead. You can try it out. But then again, like, EMS is not what people come to me for. Exactly. People come to me for the results. And I just use a tool of like,
you're part of
20 minutes in the program.
You were able to find a solution for a problem a lot of people had, and that was being too busy to work out. Now they got no fucking excuses. No. Now there's a product for everybody. There's a solution for everybody. And I fucking love this. So thank you so much for coming by, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
It's a pleasure chatting with you.
No
and thank you, y'all, for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Give Nick a follow at Speciale Fitness on Instagram. And, let us know if there's any questions you have for him, or send them directly to him. Yeah. Again, thank you for watching, guys. And this is the first episode of The Boardroom.